chopped down a statue with some water metals in his hero. You know, his footmen doing some pretty good damage. Now, certainly, you know, he gave a lot of experience away. All his footmen are now dead. Doak has a 3, you know, Death Knight. Yeah, that kind of matters. But he sums up some more water metals. He's just trying to kill those statues, but they're just a little bit too well defended at this point. And that's not going to happen. So, okay, fair enough. But he's still just queuing footmen to his cause because he needs, you know, units to creep with, things to harass with. I mean, he needs a presence. I mean, he's got 2 gold mines. It's not like he can't afford to build some footmen. Because at the very worst, it keeps Doak on his toes. Yeah, you don't want to feed experience, but you know. Now, another thing that Todd is doing is he's keeping on top of his macro. His tier 3 started. He's getting a Mountain King, I think. Yes, he is indeed. He got that blacksmith early. You know, he got the blacksmith with 4 tier 2 hit, and he built it off to the side. Just, I guess, I don't know really any specific reason for it, except maybe it would have cramped his base build otherwise. And now, once he's got enough towers up and he's got his towers blocked off, he puts his Shredder in a more defendable position, puts it back to his main, whatever. Whatever. It's not like it's a big game-ending, game-changing thing. But level 4.5 Archmage, the MK comes out, gets Bolt, I would assume. It's not like anyone goes Bash first. So he grabs his Zeppelin, and he's creeping right now, right? He quickly does a scan. He's like, okay, now there's a lot of choices Undead has, you know. They can Destro push you, which is gonna be the case. Sorry, I ruined the surprise. Undead making destroyers. Anyway, they can Destro push you. They can try to, you know, mass Ghoul against you, whatever, and push you quickly. They can do a Fiend Siege. They can, you know, there's a lot of things they can do. One of them is expand. And so he just reveals 100 gold, the 2 likely expansion spots. And now he knows that his opponent's pretty close by. 2 skeletons, you know. Right there near his base. He's probably doing the orange. Nope, I lied. Wow, those went way the heck across the map. Okay, it doesn't matter. Point is, he knows that Doak's interested in pushing his base. And he knows, you know, it's about time for Destros to show up. Crap, he's got Destros that coming to my base. So you notice he's got, you know, a couple more towers upgrading. He's starting aviaries in case he is doing a Fiend Siege. He's got a flying machine. He's going to check for what he's doing. But basically, you know, he goes and creeps a couple camps and he's like, oh, it's Destro time. And indeed, the flying machine says, hey, it's Destro time. And so guess what? Zeppelin's going to drop off his footmen and mercs and his heroes. And now certainly his base is going to get sacked because, well, he's got Destros. It's Destro time. And he's got heroes and ghouls and all that fun stuff. Do ghouls are they? No, ghouls are not upgraded with Ghoul Frenzy yet. Bad, Doak, bad. But human gets to walk in there and right-click the gold mine. And this is why you keep making footmen. That's why you pick up mercs and stuff. That's why you got the Zeppelin specifically, because you can walk in there and right-click the gold mine. Echo's come back to repair. He's going to bolt and focus one. 3, 2, up. There we go. Bolt goes off, and he's focusing it. Destros and ghouls are chopping down Todd's main, and yeah, that sucks for him. He's probably going to lose his Shredder too. But he's killing Doak's gold mine. Think about it. Okay, yeah, I lost a bunch. You know, we both lost a bunch of workers. I lost one of 2 gold mines. You lost one of... Oh, your only gold mine. Well, that sucks for you. So I'll just go kill some more buildings while you're killing my level 2 masonry main. Meanwhile, I'm mining gold and still making gyrocopters, so I will eventually kill your destroyers. Maybe not just yet, but very soon. In the meantime, your base is dead. So, good luck. I'm winning. Basically, that's what Todd's saying, but in a French accent. And possibly in French. Who knows? Point is, he's like, alright, cool. You know, I don't want my heroes to get focused just in case they get coiled and nuked and whatnot, but he's going for the Black Citadel now. Because he's like, alright, well, I killed the important, you know, ziggurats and whatnot. I'm sure he's, you know, overextended on food. He's at, you know, 42 of 20? 43 of 30. I was close. I was close. Yeah, there's that ziggurat down there. My bad. But he heals the MK, and he's like, port. Basically, that's what Todd's doing. He's saying, I'm buying time for my macro. I mean, he knows his tier 3 is much later than Doak's, because he built an expansion, he lost some peasants, he built some towers, you know, he has a late tech. Now, in the end game, he's going to have a bunch of gyros, and they're going to beat the destroyers. They're going to. Because they're they work, they do. But the point is, he's mining 2 gold. Wow, he's mining 2 gold mines to 1, and you know, his tech is late. Late game, he'll win. Right now, not a chance. So he's not going to try to fight any straight battles. I mean, okay, Footman vs. Ghoul doesn't matter, you know, how far your tech is, as long as it's before 8 minutes, you know, before he gets tier 3. Alright, cool. You know, I can fight that and get my expansion up, and alright, that's happy. But, you know, it gets to the 10-minute mark or something, and it's time for your opponent to show up at your base with destroyers. And they're going to be destroyers with mana. You're not going to win. And so it's your job as a human player to, you know, macro up, get up to 50 food, start your workshops on time, get the shredder especially, because you want to be able to be close behind. You're going to be behind, but you want to be as close as possible. And then as soon as you know, as he shows up at your base, you want to be at his. Now, my theory is that Todd really did know the timing of all this, and he was like, yep, he's going to attack me pretty soon, and I'm getting ready to go fight him. I think the skeletons might have clued him in. I think he knows the timing as well. You know, probably a multitude of criteria, you know, said, oh, it's time to go push. But, I mean, he was prepared for it. He bought the Zeppelin. You know, he's creeping closer and closer to his base. And then it was go time. You know, partially because it was the timing, and partially he, you know, saw he was not going for the expansion, which means he was going for a push. And so, you know, we started aviaries in case of 4 griffins in case of fiends. Yes, believe it or not, griffins do quite well versus fiends. And then it was, I'm going to go push your base time. So, Doak finally has his Haunted Goldmine back up. Both players have, you know, not been mining from their mains too effectively for, you know, different reasons. So, Archmage actually picks up level 3 Brilliance, because what are you going to use Water Elementals for? They're just going to give more mana to the Destroyers. So let's go give more Stormbolt and Holy Light mana, basically. And I think, you know, in some ways it's a bit of a wash. I mean, it's a little bit more mana. It's not probably going to make a huge difference overall. But, you know, and also, you know, higher level Water Elementals obviously do more damage, and they last longer. They're probably not going to die to, you know, 3 absorbs like a, well, it would take 4, I think. It would take 4 absorbs for level 2, and then 1 or 2 more for a level 3. It doesn't really matter. It would take 5 for a level 3, if you discount regen. Again, doesn't matter. Point is, he's got his Gyro army, and he's starting to macro up, and, you know, he lost the Shredder, I believe, but he built a new one. Maybe he saved it, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to his base. I would assume it died, because, you know, bunch of destroyers, usually they kill heavy armor units. Point is, though, he goes again for the main. He's not fought a straight battle yet. He would win, though. 2 destroyers versus, like, 15 gyros. He'd win, but, you know, he gets bombs and he just, you know, kills his main, chops off all the ghouls, and is like, alright, this game is definitely over. Now, again, if they fought a real battle, he would have won it. At this point, until then, you can't fight, though. And, I mean, all it is, I mean, it's a pretty, you know, simple game plan. You just have to pay attention. You know, get the build order down. You know, creep that out. You might lose some peasants. Don't worry about it. Get the farm down there so you can get a shredder and you can use reveal. You know, creep that out. Mine some wood. Finally, once you get the chance and you get enough lumber, I mean, when he went to expand, there was sort of 2 criteria for it. One, I think he finally got enough peasants and lumber that he could actually go expand. And the second being, he finally stopped getting harassed. And those are probably going to coincide, you know, if you're lucky. Now, I think Doak, one thing he could have done a little bit better is been there to stop the expansion with some ghouls. He came after he crept it, and that, you know, makes it a little bit difficult, because you'd already had level 3, all that fun stuff. But really, you know, the reason he does the lab and the expansion is because you often need level 3 to defend the battle. You need the little bit of damage up with the Archmage gains. You really want the extra mana he's got for the bigger water elementals. Their damage almost doubles when you go from level 1 to level 2 water elementals. And it gets you more footmen and, you know, more fun stuff like that. You certainly want to be expanding before a second hero shows up. Absolutely. And, you know, and you got the lumber mill, and you got some towers, all that fun stuff. But you certainly want to be careful to not lose while trying to expand. You need a big enough army. You need to make sure you have enough lumber. You get a tower up, all that fun stuff. And you got the shredder, very important. And if peasants died, he sent in reinforcements, always running to have 5. And just, you know, making peasants so he can, you know, make buildings and whatnot.